The Man in the Woods. Just to provide a little context, I'm not a particularly outdoorsy kind of person. Honestly, I'm much more comfortable and happy staying inside and spending my time as a dedicated couch potato. But one hot June day, particularly right around the corner to Veterans Day, me, my girlfriend at the time, and two of her friends decided to go on what some would call an expedition to the deep Canadian woods. It all began as a pretty typical road trip, consisting of a lot of hysterical laughter fueled by dumb jokes, silly road games, and impromptu gas station raids. Upon reaching our campsite, the immediate task was setting up the tent, gathering firewood, and then preparing a gourmet meal, although perhaps only considered gourmet in the context of the wilderness setting. As the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the tree line, we finally came to rest. At that moment, one of our two friends, whom we'll call Nathan, decided that it would be a good idea to go and collect a bit more firewood to make sure we would have enough for the next day. When Nathan arrived at the camp, or at least what I believed was his arrival, I heard the distinct crunching of leaves and the sound of him settling down. Being someone who isn't easily paranoid or scared, I assumed it was him. Then my vision slowly faded until all that remained was a complete and utter blackness, and I drifted off to a deep slumber. As the morning sun began to seep through the tent, signaling the arrival of a brand new day, I stepped out into the light, feeling refreshed and ready to embark on another day filled with memories that I know I'll never forget. While I'm preparing breakfast over a hot fire and in the skillet, I turn to Nathan and bring up how I heard him enter the campsite last night, only for his face to suddenly drop, appearing as if it had lost all of its bone structure, and simultaneously the color seemed to be completely drained from his skin. Turning his gaze directly towards me, he spoke in a voice that was both scared and almost bone-chillingly low, and then he stated, "I never actually went out to gather wood last night." As I heard him say that, I turned to him and with a tone of denial replied, No, you must have definitely come through the campsite last night." That said, I turned around quickly to observe the boot prints that were recently disturbed in the mud. As I leaned in to examine the boot prints more closely, it became clear that they were substantially larger than Nathan's. My girlfriend, noticing my confusion and a creeping sense of paranoia, turned to me and said, "Let's not dwell on it. I think it's probably just Nathan's memory playing tricks on him. I'm sure no one actually came through our campsite." Given the possibility of someone being out here in the dense forest, I dropped the idea and moved on. Having just enjoyed a substantial breakfast consisting of eggs, bacon, and pancakes as a shared meal, the group resolved to take a quick dip in the water, primarily aiming to unwind and relieve the tension accumulated after such a long day beforehand. The first person to venture into the lake that was situated right at the edge of the campsite was my girlfriend's other friend, who we can call Sarah. She was actually Nathan's fiancée. As Sarah started to strip down and enter the water, the rest of us followed right after, and honestly, we had the most fun we'd seen all year. We were all splashing, thrashing, and disturbing any peace that existed beforehand. Suddenly, Sarah, who was generally the most mature among our group back then, grew quiet. The atmosphere felt charged with a certain tension, and the conversation we had earlier still echoed in my mind. In that moment, I turned to her and said, "Is everything all right?" She replied, "I saw a man at the foot of our campsite." Given this new information, along with the conversation we had earlier, I decided to leave the water, taking Nathan along with me. My intention was to finally check for once and for all and see if there was anyone else around. Hearing the conversation, everyone else decided it was best to leave and wait for us to return. Me and Nathan cautiously crept towards the campsite, and to our left we noticed a boot sitting exactly where I had heard the leaves crunching the night before. After seeing all the unsettling things that had happened, we finally decided to pack up and leave. As we were all getting ready to pack up our belongings and leave our camp, we passed by a burned-out fire just half a mile away from where we were staying. Amidst the ashes of the fire that had been burning, we recognized the very same boot that had been there before. Alongside it, we could see some of our personal items such as tampons, toilet paper, and food. Seeing this, everyone immediately bolts towards the car, packs up their belongings, and we leave, leaving behind the memory of the campsite behind.